Hey, we're here with Dr. Anna Chopelas, who is a physicist turned energy healer, which became necessary after she became ill, even though she was doing all the right things for her health. And then after being sick for a decade and doctors gave up, she discovered that by applying her physics research, there's a proven formula that unblocks patterns that keep people stuck and or sick. And so now Dr. Anna helps emotionally intelligent entrepreneurs clear the energetic imprint of trauma, toxic relationships, and inherited patterns so they can experience true emotional freedom, attract conscious love, and scale their business with soul. And who doesn't want that? We're going to solve some problems, change some minds, get the ship righted. Dr. Anna, glad to see you.
Oh, it's awesome to be here, Robert. Thank you so much for having me on.
Glad to have you. And so what did I leave out there? We did our best to introduce you with the bio, but what are you currently all about? What has you fired up and focused?
Well, what really has me fired up is lately people seem to be coming to me because they think they've got one problem and it turns out that it's something else. And an example would be I had a longtime friend of mine come. She says, Anastasia, I haven't gotten any new clients in the last 6 months. What gives? And so because I can see energy, even if I'm not looking at them, we were on the phone. I said, well, I think it's this particular relationship. That person has got you hooked in somehow. So I did what I call a relationship healing. It's a several step process that takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And she called me 2 hours later and she says, you won't believe what just happened. 6 new clients just signed up for my programs. And so I
Whoa.
said, see, he was holding your business hostage. So
Right.
what happens is that when someone thinks of you, they kind of hook into you. There's this tacit connection that forms energetically, and I can talk energetics all day from my physics work, but they connect with you energetically and can stop you from moving forward, and you're not even aware of it. And the funny thing is that she's a relationship coach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is a very typical story that happens. And so that's what gets me excited to watch these like almost instant transformations. And many people then afterwards, they want to learn how, they want to take care of it themselves, and they enter into one of the programs that I have to offer.
Very nice. So many people need you, right? From all walks of life, even those relationship coaches, because sometimes people are blocked. They have those energy blocks and they need to heal themselves. And that's what's led you to all this amazing work that you do. And so, as far as like a job title, are you a quantum healer? Is that about right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I call myself the scientific healer because it just combines all of the 40 years of being a professor and researcher with the 30 years of being a healing practitioner. And, but yeah, so it's quantum physics in action is what it is.
And how does that work for you? Like, is it something you feel? Is it a psychic thing? Like, how do you do it?
Oh, so the way it's all of those. So most of us aren't even aware that you can feel the environment. Like, you and I are talking and I can feel the energy exchange, which is the words that we're exchanging. And I can feel that. But when somebody is angry, for example, and they're talking, it feels like somebody poured itching powder all over me. So they feel prickly. And if you actually look at the waveform of somebody that's angry, they have a jagged waveform. Their heartbeat and their heartbeat and all of that changes. So I've always been sensitive to that. And a lot of people that go through my programs, we remove all of that. I don't know what you want to call it. It's like white noise between them and other people. You remove the white noise and then they begin to feel it too. So this has happened a number of times with people that have gone through my programs. And in my programs, what I do is I show them the physics of what they're doing or biochemistry or whatever. Then I explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it so they get the healing while I'm doing it, and then they can go and do it themselves.
Well, very cool. So it sounds scientific and it sounds reproducible, right? Because like you
It
do it, and then
is.
you say, "Hey, now you can take the reins, and you can." I caught the first fish for you. Now you can catch the other fish.
Exactly. And one of my students said that it was like a recipe book. All she wants to know how to heal your liver. You just look up how to heal the liver, and the recipe is right there.
Well, very awesome. And so, because it's the Marketer of the Day podcast, it's always exciting and interesting to find out about how people get the messaging out, get the word out, overcome the resistance. And so, what have you had to do as far as building up your list or like overcoming the objections? Because I'm sure there's the skepticism with what you do. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. And the thing that I don't do is I don't talk woo, right? I've never needed to because everything is scientifically proven. There's plenty of research, there's plenty of studies that show how energy works between two people. For example, in a relationship, if a relationship is going well, it actually changes your gene expression to make you live longer. Probably didn't know that.
No.
Right. And that was research that was done here at UCLA. I live in the Los Angeles area here at UCLA, and they were very excited to find this out. So their gene expression for happy relationships showed an improvement in all their health parameters, and people in difficult relationships, it showed a decrease. So there's a lot of information out there where you wouldn't think, oh well, um, and that's because of the way people interact with one another, right? If you interact in a confrontational manner or in conflict all of the time, then your genes are going to change, and you can actually change it from the inside out, because even just sitting up straight and pulling your shoulders back, you change your, and this has also been scientifically shown, you change your levels of stress hormones just by sitting up straight. It's an energetic thing. People have says, take a deep breath, straighten your spine. Well, as soon as you take a deep breath and straighten your spine, you drive the stress hormones down and your testosterone, which is your oomph hormone, up, and it gives you a lot more energy and you feel better. So that's a real good tip of the day whenever you're lacking confidence, is just to take a deep breath and pull your shoulders back, and you'll feel way better.
And that's a great tip, and there are many benefits. And so it seems like you're helping people have better habits and better ways of going about it. And it seems like from what we talked about so far, many of these problems are people based, are relationship based, right? You say, well, the lady can't get clients, or there's conflict in the relationship. And as far as where people are really hurting, where they really need help, like, do you see any commonalities? Like, are there a lot of people like coming to you with like the same repeat problems, or do you have recurring solutions?
Yeah, so there are three major problems, or three places in the body that show a depletion when they come to me. One is the adrenal glands, and 1/3 of the people in the United States are suffering from adrenal exhaustion, and another third are on their way to it because of the stress that we're under, especially now, but the stress that we're under. So I usually help them via supplements, via healing, via um, activities to help them replenish their adrenal glands. The second one is the liver, because of the toxic environment. So toxins is another way that people suffer. And so I help them get their livers back functioning well. And the third, for a lot of people, is a thyroid, especially women entering perimenopause. Their thyroid tends to go down, and postmenopause. And men, it's a little older. It takes longer for their thyroid to show depletion. And so we try to get that back up to functioning better. So those are the three. And then the two that I do all the time is working on the brain, because the brain runs the whole body. And if the brain's not functioning, the body will go downhill. And the last one is eyes. A lot of people are having trouble with their eyes because we stare at computer screens all day and don't go out enough, or don't wear eye protection out in the sun, and the eyes go downhill. So I try to help boost their eyes up too. So those are the main places, and it's like every time I do what I call an energy reading of some sort on someone, those are the places that show up the most. But also common is kidneys and lungs.
Okay, so there's just many parts of the body can go wrong, right?
Yeah,
Kidney,
but
lungs, thyroid, eyes, brain. Yeah.
yeah, but the main one is the stress, right? As soon as I get people out of that stress state, as soon as they get out of that stress state, everything seems to come up. Like they'll feel better almost instantly.
Ooh. And so what's that about? Because like, we all have some amount of stress, right? Some amount of stress is healthy, but then it can for sure be ignored or misused or just get in the way. And so what's your take on all this as far as like dealing with stress or like clearing the baggage or the blocks? Like what's your approach?
Well, so I give them, so I have a couple of free audios that I give away, and one of them's called Wake Up Your Brain, and what it does is it releases the stress out of the body, and it's only 10 minutes. It's not like, I don't like meditating for 2 hours, so I do 10
Yeah.
minutes at a time. And and so that one really helps, and it wakes you up at the end of it. You get into a really relaxed state, and then it wakes you up. And the other one is that helps you relax. It's a little bit longer, but not much. And those really go a long way. Like just listening to it for 10 minutes, you can lower your blood pressure by a lot, because blood pressure is an indication of stress. It's an indication of other things, but if you're normally healthy, a 10-minute will lower your blood pressure almost instantly by quite a lot. And and there are lots of other habits, is getting enough sleep and drinking enough water and going outside. If you can, going outside and taking a walk outside. Too often we sit in front of our computers and we work all day, and you try to get stuff done and you don't take care of you. And just by getting up every couple of hours and even just taking a walk, stepping outside your back door, whatever, you can really makes a huge difference in your life.
I agree. These are huge, but they're simple and they are often ignored, aren't they? And sometimes I tell
Mm.
myself like I need to squeeze in 10 more minutes, but then I think of some of the things you're saying, and I'm like, I really should go for a walk. I have that meeting coming up, and even like right before this podcast, I laid down. That's why I have the crazy hair, the bedhead a little bit. So I'm always thinking like, all right, I need to take care of myself. Even though I psych myself out and I tell myself I'm not squeezing in every last minute, every last drop, but it's still important to take care of yourself. And I'm also realizing, talking to you, that I lost my sunglasses a few months ago. I need to order new ones because I do those walks. We're both in sunny California, and then I go out and I always forget to have the sunglasses. I know it's not good, right? There's
Yeah, I always wear a visor outside too, to make
yeah.
sure I don't get the sun in my eyes.
And us fair skinned people, we need to be careful about that sun anyway, as it is. And so,
Yes.
yeah, it's just good habits to have in general. And in order to get that audio you have for stress, is there an easy link you can drop while we're talking here? Is there a URL?
Yes. Yes. Scientifichealer.com/wake up brain.
Ooh, okay. So scientifichealer.com
Dot.
slash wake up brain. I'll have it in a, oh, well, it won't let me keep the tab open, but we'll mention that again at the end of wake up brain. We'll do a little bit of multitask and jump back in. And so as far as you and your own personal progress, that's always interesting, right? When someone is sharing some vulnerability and some realness, and you've helped all sorts of people, but where have you personally struggled, and what are you currently working on as far as bettering yourself?
Well, so I'm 72 now. And when I was in my early 40s, like 41, 42, I got very sick from stress. I was doing all the right things, eating right, drinking my water, jogging 6 miles before breakfast. I had what I thought was my dream career. I was excited about it. And and the stress was due to a difficult marriage. And I got so sick I only had 2 good hours a day, and it took me a long time to get back to myself. And after one surgery, I started diving way more into the esoterica, energy healing, Reiki. I became a Reiki master. I did all of this because I realized I could sense everything and I could move a lot of energy. And every time people came near me and I put my hands near them, and even if they were cold, they would feel really hot. They could feel lots of energy flowing through. So I then also embraced looking at food allergies, looking at how to improve my health, looking at every supplement imaginable. And I went through all of it. So when people come to me, they get all of that too, all of that knowledge that I accumulated. I also researched deep into research papers in the medical journals because being a researcher, I published 50 publications, scholarly publications on the vibrations of matter, go figure. And so I have all that, I have all of that knowledge and skill, and I used all of it to figure it out. And so when I came out the other end, now I feel unstoppable. Like I don't, at my age, most people are taking 15 to 20 medications. I don't take anything. And I go to the doctor every year. He goes, "Yep, you're good," and
Nice.
sends me on my way. And so, and I still, I, I walk anywhere between 10 to 12,000 steps a day and lift weights a couple of times a week. So, I still keep myself in shape. And to me getting back healthy again and being able to work, if I wanted to, 16 hours a day, I never do, but if I wanted to, I could. Getting back to that point where I can be highly productive and happy. I'm in a also very happy marriage. um, to that, and living where I want to live. I feel like I am rich beyond words, just being able to be in this place. And for anyone to lose their health, anyone who's lost their health, they know what this is like. They're climb back. Sometimes they feel hopeless, that there's no hope, but they're climb back to becoming healthy and productive again. It's really important for us.
And what's the saying? You rent your health, you don't own your health. So even like you're saying that you have all these things going for you, but you still are eating healthy and you're still exercising and you're still doing all the self-care, even though you're at a good spot. But if you stopped or if you slid back a little bit, then it would just be a lot more work just to get back to where you are, I imagine.
Well, I mean, it's just like if you lose a lot of weight, let's say, you were 100 pounds overweight and you lost all that weight, you're always still fragile or vulnerable to gaining that weight back just by getting out of your good habits. And the good habits are hard to stay in. Then I tell people, well, I have so many bad habits. Well, just change one at a time. Just
Ooh.
change the one at a time, because you can't you can't get on a good diet, exercise, be really productive at work, and expect it all to work. You have to pay attention to one thing at a time. So just drink more water every day, or go out and walk for 10 minutes in the morning before you do anything. Like I walk an hour I take my grandson to school now, and I walk him. It takes about an hour round trip, half hour up the hill and half an hour back. And do that every morning before breakfast.
Well, these
Yeah.
are some
So
good habits to have. Yeah.
yeah, and you're like, I feel always vulnerable. I still have, even though I've been declared not allergic to certain things, I still don't eat them. Right? I stay away from grains. Every time I eat a grain, my body bloats up and my blood pressure goes up. So I'm going, yeah, not worth it.
Right.
so
It's not worth
so
the
people go,
trade-off.
yeah, and people go, how can you go your whole life without eating grains? And I go, well, just my next meal, I'm not eating them.
Right. Like, yeah, you say, well, it's only for my next meal I won't do it. 3 meals from now I will, but then you never get there because it's always your next meal.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that can solve a lot of problems. Well, we've covered so much, and you told us so many things just about people coming to you, and you pick up on their energy, their vibrations. You do the work. You show them how things can be better. But as far as those unknown unknowns, what am I missing here? What should I be asking you? I just don't know what to ask you.
Oh, the unknown things. So, what people don't realize is, let's say you had a parent that you are still mad about, like still angry at because they mistreated you when you were younger, or you were married to somebody who caused you a lot of grief. And the mailman came.
Talking about
And
grief, right?
yeah, causing grief. Yeah, that dog is locked up in another room. But so you go and you have this ex, and you, every time you think of them, you just go, oh, or you get upset or you get sad. You carry those emotions, those inside you. And you think, well, I'm okay now. Everything's okay. It's all good. They're out of my life. The thing is that you're still carrying the energy of that. And I have a good story for that. You carry that energy, and it's like wearing people repellent on you, because everyone can feel it when they're in your vicinity or even by your voice. They can hear it. I had a woman who came to me who had a very unusual condition that her immune system was completely gone. She had to keep getting gamma globulin shots every month. Otherwise, and she was also very fragile. If she did just one bit too much, she'd get really sick. She even recovered from cancer. And so I said we needed to clear her parents' energy out of her. And then I said something about her father, and she goes, I've been angry at my father for 40 years. And
Huh.
I go, oh, and that's how long you've had this condition, right? She goes, yes. And so I, I cleared that energy out of her. There's a process that I use, it's quantum physics. And the next week she goes, I don't know what you did to me, but I can't even muster anger at him. And then in the next month, her business increased over 30% without any new advertising, no new networking, no nothing. She says, my phone's ringing off the hook. I don't know what happened, because people weren't being repelled by her. And people used to go up and say, that woman is really scary. I go, have you talked to her lately? And then they talk to her. They go, what happened? She's so different.
Cleared the energy.
It was all her anger that she was holding. And so it's like it's vibrating out here and people can feel it. It's just like when you're desperate that a client sign up with you because you're low on funds, they feel that desperation and they run the other direction because they're going, oh, they want me for my money. Because whatever is going on inside you, people feel it and they don't even know they're feeling it. You don't know you have it, and they don't know they're feeling it. And that's
Yeah.
what's hidden.
Yeah, we're giving off those bad vibes, right? The desperate vibes, the angry vibes, and most of us don't even know that we're doing it. And that's why we need this education. We need the help from someone like you who has these 50 published papers. You're a TV host. You have this Helping Healers Succeed podcast, and you're all about alignment before success. And so as far as some next steps here, right? We already dropped that link of wake up your brain in just 11 minutes a day. That's scientifichealersuniversity.com/wake up your brain. And as far as some of these next steps here, if someone says, all right, some of this is exciting, right? The quantum, the vibration, the energy. I want to find out what all the fuss is about. I want Anastasia's help to just get rid of this baggage that might have been chasing me for decades and refix some of these bad habits. What are some next steps here? Where should someone go?
Well, you can go to scientifichealer.com/appointment and set up an appointment, and I'll do an energy reading on you. It's doesn't cost anything to just get the reading, and then we talk about next steps.
All right, nice and simple, right? Just like little micro commitments, right? Scientifichealer.com/appointment. You get that scheduled from someone who is a PhD, chemistry, MS, geochemistry. She has over 2,000 hours of professional study in energy medicine, over 10,000 hours of intensive personal growth work related to the work, including self-healing, several middle-age maladies, 20 years practice of healing, and thousands of successful outcomes. And as far as having a nice, juicy soundbite at the end of our conversation, which, as you know, right, you're an entrepreneur, you're a marketer, you know the importance of having a hook or having those little clips for the short attention span. So for the soundbite purposes, it's time for the scary part of the show where I try to stump you, Dr. Anna. I try to put you on the spot by asking for a fun quote or lesson that has served you in business or in life. Take your pick. So what do you have for a fun quote or lesson?
Well, I have several, and a couple of my very favorite Einstein quotes. My very favorite one is when a reporter was asking Einstein, "How do you feel about all these people trying to prove you wrong?" And he goes, "I'm not interested in whether I'm wrong or right. I'm interested knowing if I am or not."
Ooh.
Right? So if you are wrong, then you know what step to take to correct it. And people proving you wrong doesn't matter. If they prove him wrong and they finds out that he's wrong, then he goes, "Oh, well, I'll just correct it and we'll go over here now." And that makes it easy because you don't have to worry about being wrong. You can just move forward and go, "Okay, now I know I am, I can go do something else." And another one is from one of my favorite colleagues in science. Her name is Alex. It's a woman, Alex Navratsky. And she said to me, we were having a conversation about having male, what do you want to call it, thesis advisors, male advisors, and how she felt about being prove it wrong. And she goes, "Finally, I discovered if I admit I'm wrong first and then find the solution, then I can move forward and it's okay." So it's okay to make mistakes and to not kick yourself in the rear end.
Yeah, and you hear a lot about that. That's what science is all about, right? Scientific method. That's what business is all about, and pivoting. And so it just definitely seems to be a sign of humility and maturity to be willing to be wrong or proven
It,
wrong and then find a solution and change your ways. And that's called personal growth. And we need to unlearn some of the bad and relearn some of the good, especially with your help. And so you say that we can get that help by going to scientifichealer.com/appointment to get that consultation with Dr. Anastasia Chopelas. And then you also have a very excellent YouTube channel, which is Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, where you help heal and show how to become a healer. And there's all kinds of very amazing videos about magnetic marketing for healers and the quantum field, stopping burnout. There's quite a smorgasbord of things we can learn and benefit from. But what we really want you to go is scientifichealer.com/appointment, and we'll see you there. And thank you, Dr. Anna, for waking us up and helping us out and just telling us about the mystical, spooky, very amazing and cool world of quantum and energy and healing, so that way we can just finally just get unblocked, right? Because life is too short. Many times we need new solutions. So thank you for being here, providing those solutions.
yeah, life is way too short. Believe me, it goes by in a flash.
Right. And so make the most of it, especially with Dr. Anna's help. That's scientifichealer.com/appointment. And we'll see you next time, Dr. Anna.
Thank you so much for having me, Robert. It's been a total pleasure.